afternoon, Leopard Writers. Yesterday I taught you that writers revise, okay? And they do that by, I'll just turn back to my chart. They do that by describing 5 senses, describing setting, and pushing their dialogue to the next level, okay? They reread their story through each of those, lenses, if you will, looking for how they can add things in to fancy up their stories, right? So today, I want to teach you that writers also edit in order to fix up their stories, okay? I talked about this yesterday, that fixing up or editing our stories is more like a car that you have to take to the shop because the parts or the mechanics might be a little off, and so we have to work on fixing those parts. So writers can do this by, again, rereading their story out loud to themselves, but this time you're looking through a different lens, right? You're looking for things like capitalization, punctuation, spelling, okay? So I gave you some examples up here, but I'm also going to share some tools with you today and on Seesaw through your teachers that will help you with this process as well. So when you're looking and reading for capitalization, you might notice that you forgot to capitalize names. Like I is a name I call myself, right? That's a common one I've been noticing as I've been reading people's writing on Seesaw here at Lakewood. So if you learn anything from me lately, let's remember that we always have to capitalize the I. That's the name I call myself, okay? Or names of other people, names of places. All of those things have to have a capital letter, okay? Punctuation. You might have to remember at the end of your sentence to go back and add punctuation. And here I showed you how sometimes I do that with a different color too, okay? Just like yesterday, we sometimes used a different color when we were adding things in to revise. So I went on Haven's bike. I also forgot my apostrophe there. So depending on your age, some of you will be held responsible for more complex punctuation, and some of you will just need some punctuation at the end of your sentences, okay? Your checklist will tell you exactly what you are expected to do at your grade. So spelling, I went on Haven's bike, okay? It's important that you listen and stretch those words out like a piece of bubble gum. I went. And if that is the very best you can do, boys and girls, then you do the best that you can do with spelling, okay? But if you stretch it out more and you hear like, oh, and I forgot my E, then you can always go back and add that in. And we're going to take all this work that's kind of messy and we're going to use that to publish our final draft, okay? So I went on Haven's bike. Okay, there I forgot my silent E at the end. So I know that I says his name, I need a silent E. So do your very best with spelling. We don't expect it to be perfect. You guys are still learning, but we do want you to use the words that you know and have learned this year, or use the strategies like stretchy snake to write the sounds that you hear, okay? You can also use that checklist. So I'm going to show you really quickly how I can use the checklist to edit some of my writing. Okay, so on this checklist, it goes into lots of different areas. Okay, it has things like spelling, and in first grade, what do I need to do as a speller? Punctuation, what kinds of things do I need to think about? Okay, so if I pretend like I'm a first grader today, and it says I need to, you don't have to use whatever color you want. Red is kind of an old school editing technique color. If I used all I knew about words and chunks of words to help me spell, and then if I read all the way through and I look for the words that I need to fix up spelling, then I can say not yet, or I can say I'm starting to, or I can say yes after I've done that. But I can't check off yes until I've read my whole story, looking for if I have used what I know about chunks of words to spell, okay? So I'm going to read, and I'm going to see if I need to fix up any spelling, or if I need to add in any punctuation, okay? Okay, so right here I noticed it said get. I need to change that get to got. We finally got to the house. And I'm going to read it out loud to myself. When we finally got to the house, we were so excited. Okay, so that get didn't make sense. I got to make sure my spelling is right there. So you can see, boys and girls, how you can change up what you had there to edit and fix up those parts so that your story will make sense when you put it out in the world to readers, okay? So as I work through and I use that checklist, after I've checked off each part, You can use as much of that as you want. We're really going to focus in on spelling and punctuation today, but if you want to use other parts of that to help you with things like your lead or your elaboration, the other strategies we've worked on, a lot of that is in here too, and I'll give you some good ideas for how you can fix up your stories so they are ready to put out into the world. Boys and girls, remember today and every day as writers, you can work to edit your writing, and when you're editing to fix up your story, you do this by looking for capitalization, you're rereading, you're looking for capital letters, punctuation, or spelling mistakes. And anywhere that you forgot to capitalize or punctuate, you're going to add those in, just like I did here. Or if you forgot to add in some sounds, you can add those in as well and use that checklist as a tool to help you. You got this.